Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 24 of our Welcome Back to School month. Our favorite 30 albums of our high school years. That's right, we're all celebrating together, kind of thinking back to when we were in our last 4 years of school, or depending on where you live, maybe it was 2 years of school, right, here in the States. Freshman year, ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. My age was 14 through 18. My high school years were 1980 to 1984. So we're all trying to go back and remember what were those like 30 albums that we listened to and loved the most during those last few years of school, right before we went on and did something else, whether we went on to college or university or went out to work or went into the military or got married and had a family, whatever you did after you got out of high school, right? Those albums you listen to all the time that help make up your musical DNA during your formative years, very influential years. We were all sponges back then, right? So this particular album came out in 1982 in lots of parts of the world, like in fall of 1982, but it came out here in the States in early 1983. Produced by the band, released here on Portrait Records. Restless and Wild from Germany's Accept. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I went over to my friend Al's house after school. He lived right around the corner from the school, so we would go take the bus over to his place. He goes, I got this album that I picked up in the import rack this past weekend. You got to check it out. I'm like, okay, cool. He said the name of the band, but I never heard them before. So he goes and puts the needle on the record, and you hear like the pops and everything, and you hear the din 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 din, hi dee hi ho hi dum, hi dee hi do hi dum, hi dee hi do hi hop up. And meanwhile I'm thinking, the fuck is this, right? And then all of a sudden you hear that Udo scream, well, you hear the needle go first, and then you hear the scream, and then you hear and I remember thinking, wow, what in the world is this? This is Restless and Wild by Accept. That was Fast as a Shark, right? And just amazing stuff. And within days, everybody, all my friends, all us metalheads were talking about Accept in this great new album. So, we had never gotten introduced to Breaker or the other albums that came before it. To us, this was like a debut album. We got Breaker shortly thereafter, but this was all our introduction to Accept. And then you had, Balls to the Wall the following year, and that was that, right? So, but yeah, I mean, Restless and Wild became like one of our favorite albums in 1983. So, that was our end of our junior year going into our senior year. And man, one banger after another on this album. We've talked a lot about Restless and Wild here on the channel, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. But man, Fast as a Shark, the title track, Restless and Wild. The riffs are great. Udo's gravelly vocals are so good. Ahead of the Pack, Shake Your Heads. So heavy. Neon Nights. Oh, that guitar tone. Wolf Hoffman on Neon Nights. Amazing. You got Get Ready. You got the awesome Demons Night. You got Flash Rockin' Man. Don't Go Stealing My Soul Away. And of course, the wonderful closer, Princess of the Dawn, which is just absolutely terrific. So many Accept staples on this particular album. Of course, Udo Dirkschneider on vocals, Wolf Hoffman on guitars, all right, Peter Baltes on bass, and Stefan Kaufmann on drums. Of course, you got Herman Frank kind of joined the band, I guess, during or after they recorded this album, so he was a full-time member going forward, but I don't believe he plays on this album at all. Michael Wagner engineered the album. Just a complete metal classic, if there ever was one, and a just staple of the early 80s metal scene. If you were a metal fan in like 1983, 84, 85, 86, you were listening to Accept. Just such a great band, and one of Germany's best. It was kind of cool at the time because the Scorpions were already, by this time, Scorpions were getting pretty big. So Accept were like kind of coming along and nipping at their heels. They never quite got nearly as big as the Scorpions, but and that itself is a big mystery because a lot of the style of music a little bit similar, but let's face it, Udo doesn't really have as mainstreamy a voice as Klaus does. Right, so that probably has a lot to do with it. And Scorpions were not afraid of doing ballads and things, whereas Accept were just, this is who we are. So they were always, I think, more for a hardcore metal fan than the Scorpions, who obviously went routes to get bigger, sell out more stadiums, get more hits on the radio, all that sort of thing. Whereas Accept had their formula, and that's what they did. But we loved them anyway. So yeah, Restless and Wild is my pick, day 24 here. So let us know what you think of this album, as well as your pick for day 24 as we march our way to number 30. Stay tuned tomorrow for number 25, and visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell. We also have the links below to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations and our merch page, where you can get all sorts of cool Sea of Tranquility stuff. We also, what else? We got a concert coming up a week from today. Right, Sea of Tranquility Fall Fest is a chance in Poughkeepsie, New York, October 1st. A full day, noon to midnight. In the afternoon, we're recreating live on stage, the Hudson Valley Squares in the Prague seat. Friday morning at the Funhouse with Martin Popoff. We've got Chris Caffrey from Savatage and TSO in the house to do a little Q&A with you guys. We've got Andy Powell from Wishbone Ash also doing the same thing. We've got music from Sonus Umbra, Epic Tantrum, the Pat Travers Band, Vanilla Fudge, and Nectar. Come meet all of us Sea of Tranquility folks. Come hang out, chat with us, listen to us talk, do some Q&A, and then we got a full night of music. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So we hope to see you there. Please get your tickets now. Poughkeepsie, New York, the Chance Theater, Sea of Tranquility Fall Fest, and we'll see you then. But before that, we'll see you tomorrow with more of this stuff. So take care, everybody. See you. Bye-bye.